Hello guys, my name is Victor Bloodstone. Today I will be telling you guys about 4 true and disturbing horror stories on Ouija board experiences. So let's get started. Story 1. The Forbidden Game. Ouija boards had always fascinated me, a mysterious window to the supernatural. One evening, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to use a board with my friends, Sarah and Mark. We gathered in my dimly lit basement, candles casting eerie shadows. The planchette moved slowly at first, spelling out random letters and numbers. We exchanged nervous laughter, chalking it up to our own subconscious movements. But then, as if guided by an unseen hand, it spelled out Anemia Amelia. None of us knew an Amelia, but Mark's face went pale. He whispered, "Amelia was my sister. She died in a car accident 3 years ago." The room seemed to grow colder, and the candles flickered ominously. We continued to ask questions, the planchette moving with unnatural speed, spelling out sentences that sent chills down our spines. Amelia claimed to be in pain, lost in a dark place. Tears welled up in Mark's eyes as he pleaded with her to leave. The planchette traced to goodbye, and the room fell silent. Mark seemed relieved, but the air hung heavy with an unsettling presence. Days turned into weeks, and strange occurrences plagued our lives. Objects moved on their own, whispers echoed through the house, and shadows seemed to move independently. Desperation drove us back to the Ouija board, hoping to free Amelia from whatever had latched onto her. But when we contacted her again, her messages grew darker. She claimed to be in torment, accusing us of abandoning her. The planchette spelled out a sinister warning: "You will never be free." Terrified, we burned the Ouija board, but the malevolent force refused to let go. Our lives descended into chaos. Mark's health deteriorated, and he became a mere shadow of his former self. We were tormented by nightmares, our waking hours filled with an unrelenting sense of dread. One night, as I lay in bed, a voice whispered in my ear, chilling me to my core, "You will never be free." I knew then that we had unleashed a darkness that would haunt us for the rest of our lives. A reminder that some games should never be played. Story 2. The Messenger. My fascination with the supernatural led me to experiment with Ouija boards, seeking answers to questions that had plagued me for years. One evening, I found myself alone in my dimly lit room, the Ouija board resting on my wooden table. I lit a candle, creating an ambience of anticipation. As I placed my fingers on the planchette, a shiver ran down my spine. The room seemed to come alive with an otherworldly energy. I asked, "Is anyone there?" The planchette moved slowly at first, spelling out Anemia Eleanor. I swallowed hard, unsure of who Eleanor might be. The messages that followed were cryptic, filled with references to secrets only I knew. It claimed to be a messenger, sent to deliver a warning. Eleanor's messages grew increasingly unsettling, predicting events that came to pass with eerie accuracy. She revealed dark secrets from my past, secrets that I had buried deep within my psyche. Fear gnawed at me as I realized that Eleanor knew me better than I knew myself. One night, as I sat alone in my room, the planchette moved with an urgency I had never witnessed. It spelled out a chilling message: "They are coming for you." Panic surged through me as I tried to comprehend the meaning behind those words. The next few weeks were a living nightmare. I was plagued by relentless paranoia, the feeling of being watched at every turn. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and strange symbols appeared on my walls, etched in a substance that could not be washed away. Desperate for answers, I returned to the Ouija board, demanding to know who they were. Eleanor's response sent terror coursing through me, the keepers of secrets. In a desperate bid to escape the unrelenting dread, I attempted to sever my connection with Eleanor, but she refused to let go, taunting me with visions of unspeakable horrors. I reached out to paranormal experts, but they were helpless in the face of the malevolent force that had latched onto me. In the end, I was left with no choice but to abandon my home and start anew. I left behind all I had known, hoping to escape the clutches of the sinister messenger. But Eleanor's final message still haunts me, a chilling reminder that some knowledge is better left buried in the shadows. Story 3. The Price of Curiosity. It began as a harmless experiment, a way to pass the time during a sleepover with my friends, Sarah and Jake. We had heard stories of Ouija boards unlocking the door to the spirit world, and our teenage curiosity got the best of us. With a makeshift Ouija board we found online, We gathered in the dimly lit basement, our hands trembling with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. As we placed our fingers on the planquette, we expected nothing more than a fun scare. The planquette moved slowly, spelling out a name at Thomas. None of us knew a Thomas, but we continued, convinced one of us was subconsciously guiding it. But the messages that followed grew more sinister. Thomas claimed to be a spirit trapped between realms, desperate for release. As the night wore on, our fear escalated. The planquette spelled out chilling messages, revealing intimate details of our lives that no one could have known. Jake's face went pale as Thomas recounted a childhood accident he had never shared with us. Sarah's eyes brimmed with tears as Thomas whispered a dark secret that had haunted her family for generations. Desperate to end the terrifying encounter, we pleaded with Thomas to leave us be, but he refused, demanding that we help him cross over to the other side. The basement grew colder, and the air seemed to thicken with an oppressive presence. In our desperation, we agreed to help Thomas, following his instructions to perform a ritual that would set him free. But as we chanted the incantation, the room was consumed by a blinding light, and a deafening shriek pierced our ears. When the light dissipated, Thomas was gone, but a sinister energy lingered. The basement had become a malevolent entity of its own, a place of shadows and despair. We were tormented by relentless nightmares, each night more horrifying than the last. Our friendship disintegrated as paranoia and fear consumed us. We sought help from priests, paranormal investigators, and psychics, but none could banish the malevolent force that had taken hold. The basement became a prison of our own making, a place we dared not enter, yet were unable to escape. To this day, I carry the scars of that ill-fated night, a reminder that some curiosities should never be indulged. We had unlocked a darkness that could not be contained, paying a price for our youthful curiosity that would haunt us for the rest of our lives. Story 4. The Haunting Echoes. My fascination with the supernatural had always been a guilty pleasure. So, when my friends Alex and Mia suggested using a Ouija board one rainy Friday night, I couldn't resist the thrill of diving headfirst into the unknown. We gathered in Mia's attic, a place where dusty relics of the past gathered dust in the shadows. The atmosphere was tense as we arranged the board and placed our fingers lightly on the planquette. With each question, we felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The planquette moved sluggishly at first, spelling out random letters and numbers, but we remained patient. As the minutes ticked by, the planquette began to glide more smoothly, as if guided by an unseen hand. Our skepticism transformed into amazement as we realized that something, or someone, was attempting to communicate with us. The entity identified itself as Samuel, and we eagerly fired questions at him. His responses were cryptic yet strangely insightful, as if he held the secrets of the universe within his spectral grasp. We couldn't believe our luck at having made contact with such a knowledgeable spirit, but as the session continued, the atmosphere shifted. The room grew cold, and our breath misted in the air. Samuel's messages took on a darker tone, hinting at hidden secrets and unspeakable horrors. Mia's once cheerful demeanor turned anxious, and Alex's face paled. Samuel claimed to have knowledge of our deepest fears, secrets that we had never shared with anyone. He taunted us with the details, revealing our innermost vulnerabilities. Our laughter from earlier in the evening had transformed into nervous, forced chuckles. As the night wore on, the messages became more sinister. Samuel insisted that he was trapped between worlds and needed our help to break free. He demanded a blood offering, a sacrifice to sever his ties to the earthly realm. Fear gnawed at us as we debated whether to proceed. The attic seemed to close in on us, the shadows taking on a menacing quality. Our voices quivered as we tried to communicate with Samuel, but he grew increasingly impatient, spelling out threats and promises of eternal torment. In a moment of terror-fueled desperation, we agreed to the ritual. We pricked our fingers and let our blood stain the board, a dark offering to the entity that had ensnared us. As the drops of blood touched the wood, the attic was engulfed in a blinding light, and a deafening roar filled our ears. When the light finally faded, Samuel was gone, leaving us in a room that felt colder and emptier than we could have ever imagined. Our bond as friends had been irrevocably shattered, and we were left with the haunting knowledge that we had willingly entered into a pact with a malevolent force. Over the following days, Our lives spiraled into chaos. We were plagued by relentless nightmares, each one more horrifying than the last. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and whispering voices echoed through our homes, tormenting us day and night. We sought help from paranormal experts, priests, and psychics, but no one could banish the malevolent entity that had latched onto us. We were trapped in a nightmare of our own making, haunted by the echoes of our ill-fated decision. Our friendships withered, poisoned by paranoia and fear. Each of us became isolated, convinced that the others were somehow responsible for our predicament. The bond we had once cherished had become a curse, a reminder of the night we had invited darkness into our lives. To this day, I carry the scars of that ill-fated evening, a constant reminder that some doors should never be opened. The echoes of our Ouija board experience still haunt my dreams, a chilling testament to the price we paid for our reckless curiosity. If you liked the stories, then consider liking the video and subscribing my channel, as it would motivate me to make more videos for you guys, and thank you for watching this video.